Let me talk to you about squash vine borers. There's a difference between squash vine borers than the squash bugs. Squash bugs lay their eggs on the leaves. Squash vine borers lay their eggs on the stem, and their eggs burrow into the plant and kill it from the inside out. I've been gardening for 40 years, and for 30 years I used this good old-fashioned mothballs. Well, about 4 years ago, I read that, or found out that mothballs are toxic, so I quit using. I never had squash vine borers when I used the mothballs, never, in 30 years of gardening. So about 4 years ago, I stopped using mothballs. I got squash vine borers, and they killed everything. So in the last 4 years, I've been fighting them. Then I started thinking, well, the mothballs worked. They must be attracted to scent. That must be how they find the plant. So this year, I'm trying different scents. I'm not using the mothballs because they're toxic, but I'm trying different scents around my squashes. So I planted some marigolds near them. I planted basil right next to the plant. And then I pick off a leaf every so often and put it right on the base of the plant. You see one over here. Let's go over here. You can see that dried up basil on the... I've planted onions next to it. See that onion right there? The marigold. And then down, I put everything in pots this year with new dirt. So, because squash vine borers, after their larva goes through the plant, then they go back down into the soil and come back next year. So this is new soil in garden, in grow bags, marigold planted, onion, basil on top of it. Then this is Irish Spring soap in bags, planted throughout, or hung around to create another scent. And back in the back, I have the mammoth marigolds planted in those grow bags. So those mammoth ones probably get about 3 foot tall, so they should make a scent all the way around the area. I also tied dryer sheets. I'm not kidding, I'm fighting these things. I'd like to get some squash this year. So I'm trying scent, different scents. Okay, so this is middle of June. So far, I have not seen any squash bugs. So I think the scents are working. But this is my first year doing this without using, I'm not using mothballs. And mothballs work for everything, like my rose bushes. When bugs would start eating on them, I'd throw some mothballs around and they'd stop. It keeps deer from eating plants. It keeps rabbits from eating plants. I just wish it wasn't toxic because it works for everything, but I'm going to keep using these methods and see if it works. You can see a dried basil leaf on the stalk of that plant. I need to pick some more leaves and put them on. Another thing I read is that they're attracted to yellow. the yellow flowers is what they're attracted to. So they must be attracted to scent of the plant and the yellow flowers. So over here, I haven't hung them yet, but I have some yellow sticky traps I'm going to stick around. Hang these around, 8x6 yellow sticky traps. I'll hang those around, and I'm going to see what works this year. Because last year, they got my yellow squash, they got my zucchini, they got my acorn, and killed them all. So, and I was watching, trying to watch for them, but you can't watch that closely. And so, it really smells good over here, though, with the Irish Spring and the marigolds and the basil. So, hopefully that takes care of it, the problem. But I do know they're attracted to scent. Because otherwise the mothballs wouldn't have worked all them years. So all of my plants are in new soil, and all of them have scents. Over here I have acorn. That's acorn planted there. Same thing, some basil, marigolds, dryer sheets, soap. I'll show you how I hung that soap towards the end. Watch the end. And over here I have pie pumpkins. Over here I have butternut. Over here, this is a wicking bed. I have a video on how I did this. You can go check out that video. So we have zucchini, and I have bags of onions growing, more scent, bags of basil growing, more onions, the tall marigolds, cucumbers, yellow squash, oh, got a marigold going in there. Lots of soap. So we'll see if this works. So far, so good. I have not seen anything. But I'm going to pick off some more basil leaves and wrap them around the plant. But that's okay. I planted plenty of basil. And they have big leaves. Just pop the leaf off and put it on the base of the plant. Over in some of them I planted onions right in with it. Let's see if you can see them here. Okay, here. See the onions growing right in between the stalks? That's to help deter them. That makes more smell. Let's see if these are still growing in here. Yep, there's some onions growing right next to that. Marigolds, more basil. So they're doing really good. And maybe I'll get some vegetables this year. Fingers crossed. I'll give it an update in the fall. We'll see what happens. Okay, here's what we're going to use. Cut it into chunks. And we're going to use a loofah. But we're not taking a shower. Inside that loofah is a string that ties the whole thing together. When you pull it apart, It's a netting tube, which is perfect for hanging soap in. Let me pull it apart and I'll show you. See, once you pull it apart, and they're long. You get a lot of fabric out of this. See, it's just a tube. See, they're hollow. I mean, it's just a mesh bag. See the spoon in there? It's a mesh bag. And there's, I don't know how many yards on here. You can make a lot of bags. And I use the bags for bulbs, for onions, for all sorts of things around the house. It's just a nice mesh bag. Okay, just tied a knot in the bottom, put my soap inside, and put a piece of wire on it. Now it's ready to hang. You could use other scents, I imagine. Some lavender, even dried lavender, potpourri, spices, dried onion spices maybe, or any, even dried basil. Just come out here with your spices and throw them in. Just different scents that maybe ward the evil squash vine borer away. Just use your imagination. I just trimmed up some of my rosemary and some pine. I'm going to throw that around in there. We'll see if that helps. I'm pulling out all stops. We'll see. See, just stuck the rosemary and the shrub cutting. Just stuck it right down into the plant. So basil's down there, rosemary, some pine cuttings. More smells.